Morning all, hope you're doing well, hope you're staying safe. It's Tuesday, June the 30th. We have got a stack of stuff to get through today, so let's get right to it. Looking at cases then, US daily cases yesterday, almost a record, second highest ever. Deaths though still trending down across the US. Better news for us here in Florida yesterday, 5,500 cases rather than the 9,500, 10,000 we had over the weekend. So in context, positive news. I'd like to see how that goes over the weekend. Deaths are trending up very, very slightly. If we look at stats, we had so many tests last week. It was like 60% more than the previous week, 250,000 tests last week. We did have the highest number of cases obviously last week. They didn't translate completely into hospitalizations and deaths. You'll see from the stats that both hospitalizations and deaths only went up very, very slightly. So again, positive news, I hope. And I hope that this will trend down across this week, next week and so forth. Ron DeSantis is still saying no to masks in the States. And he's not going to change his mind now. That's it. So I think I'm going to stop telling you about it. He has deferred this down to the mayors, and some mayors are saying yes, we need to wear masks. One of those mayors is Jerry Demings. Jerry Demings is saying be very careful over the 4th of July Independence Day weekend. That starts on the 3rd of July. We've got a public holiday 3rd of July. Independence Day is the 4th of July. Miami-Dade, Broward, Monroe and Palm Beach counties are closing all of their beaches over this extended weekend, Friday through to Sunday, so that people don't congregate there and cause an issue and more cases. I think good idea for those 4 counties down there, remembering that Miami-Dade, Broward and Palm Beach are the 3 counties with the highest number of cases in Florida. Florida is now ranking number 3. It was number 1 for the past 3 or 4 days. Now it's number 3. Orange County down to number 5 from number 2. So again, good call there from Demings, I think, to have that mask mandate in place. Hopefully that's going to serve Orange County very, very well. Weather today is going to be 97 degrees, 36 degrees centigrade. It's going to be like that for tomorrow as well. Then cooling off to a low 94 degrees through the weekend. AP holders got their email from Disney World finally yesterday. Thank God I got a notification, jumped on it straight away. I managed to get tickets for Animal Kingdom on the 10th. I'm actually working on the 9th, so I can't do it. I heard that those tickets for both days, for both Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom, sold out within 45 minutes. I'm really pleased that I got a notification and was able to do something about that. There was plenty of people who were upset yesterday. If you've got a dining reservation that was cancelled between May and September the 2nd, 2020, you've now got an opportunity to get in there first and remake that dining reservation. So please, if you're in that camp, please have a look at that before anybody else gets in and steals your reservation. The same is true for some experiences. Not all experiences are back at Disney World, but some are, including the Droid Station at Galaxy's Edge. So again, if you had an experience that was cancelled between May and September 2nd, 2020, get in there now and redo that reservation so that you're not disappointed again. Character meals are making a very, very limited comeback. Topolino's Terrace at the Riviera Resort is already open for breakfast, and those character dining experiences are happening right now. Very limited, characters marched through the restaurant, no real interaction with guests, but you can take photographs. When Epcot reopens, Garden Grill is going to have its character experience back, but again, the same kind of thing as Topolino's, very, very limited character experience with those characters. Moving on to park availability, calendars for ticket holders, not AP, staying off site, very good. No days are completely reserved at the moment, so that's really good. So I wouldn't worry if you're not coming till like late 2020 or early 2021, middle of 2021. I would not worry right now about not having your tickets. It doesn't seem that there's much take up at all. Now there may be later, so if you can get your numbers from your travel agents or from Disney, do so and make the reservations. It's not a problem, but I wouldn't worry too much right now. For resort guests, it's still only up to the 18th of July that's really still a bit of an issue. Animal Kingdom in the early days and Hollywood Studios in the later days up to the 18th of July. After that, all green right up to September 2021. Annual pass holders, different story. Very, very little availability now in July. Some availability in August, but not much, especially at weekends. And then September is looking pretty cool. But I know that once the annual pass holders have been able to use their original 3, just like fast passes, they'll be able to make more reservations, so I can see September being filled up quite quickly after July starts, after July 11th starts. So moving away from Disney, the Ball and Stuntacular opens fully today at Universal Studios. There is a sneak peek preview from Universal last night on YouTube, and I'm going to link to that in the description below this video so you can have a look at that if you want. And then finally, if you're in town and you want fireworks over the extended weekend, the Independence Day weekend, they are very limited. Most of those have been taken away. So one of the only places you can get a fireworks show is at SeaWorld. So SeaWorld is doing their Light Up the Sky event on the 3rd, 4th and 5th of July, 9 o'clock at night. Reservations are still available for all 3 days. I had a look yesterday. They're the headlines. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, hit that notification bell, press all. You'll get this stuff 6 days a week, something different on a Sunday. Please press like if you're getting some value out of these videos. The algorithm likes likes. And if you know somebody who might benefit from the videos as well, please share that with them. Okay, let's get to the news. The total number of new cases across the US yesterday was 44,734. That's the second highest ever. Total deaths in the US yesterday was 346, and that trend continues to move down. In Florida yesterday, the cases were 5,266. That's the lowest for 4 days. 39 deaths were reported in Florida yesterday, and that's the same point as we were at June the 2nd. Florida, which had ranked number 1 in the number of cases per day over the past few days, is now number 3 behind Texas and California. And Orange County, which had been second behind Miami-Dade, is now number 5, with Miami-Dade, Broward and Palm Beach again taking the top 3 spots. Looking at case stats for Florida, that's the end of another week. We had 295,611 tests in the week. That's 60% up on the previous week. Of those, 46,124 were positive, which is 15.6%. That's over 3% more than last week, and you can see there's been a consistent rise there since May. Hospitalizations for the week were 12% up on the previous week, while the number of deaths rose by 15%. Again, yesterday, Governor Ron DeSantis said he would not be putting a mask mandate in place across the whole of Florida. He said, "We're not going to do that statewide. We wanted to have a collaborating effect with the locals from the beginning. Different areas have handled this differently based on their facts and circumstances, and even today you see obviously discrepancies throughout the state." Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings has asked people to celebrate safely as we approach the July 4th Independence Day weekend. He said, "We can't just sit on our laurels because we are approaching this 4th of July weekend, and most of the large gatherings have been cancelled or postponed, but there will still be some that will occur, and it will be critically important for members of our community to adhere to the directives that we've put in place." In order to stop potential overcrowding at its beaches, Broward, Monroe and Miami-Dade are closing their beaches over the 4th of July weekend. All beaches in these 3 counties, as well as those in Palm Beach County not mentioned in this article, will be closed from Friday the 3rd of July through to Sunday the 5th of July. Weather today in Orlando is going to be 97 degrees, 36 degrees centigrade. We'll likely get hit with a thunderstorm this afternoon, and temperatures cooling very slightly towards the end of this week. Disney's annual pass holders received an email yesterday inviting them to the annual pass holder preview on July 9th and 10th. After around 45 minutes of this email being sent, the event was declared full. We were lucky enough to get reservations for Animal Kingdom on Friday the 10th of July, and I'll bring you a video from there on that day. From today, if you had a dine-in reservation between May the 28th and September the 2nd, 2020, you can now get in before anybody else to remake that reservation. It doesn't say how long you've got before this window is open to everybody else, but I'd get in quick if it affects you. Also from today, if you had an active experience reservation between May the 28th and September the 2nd, 2020 that was cancelled, you'll be able to make a new experience reservation up to 60 days in advance of your arrival at Disney World. This includes the Droid Station at Galaxy's Edge in Disney's Hollywood Studios. Up to now, the only limited character dining experience would be at Topolino's Terrace at the Riviera Resort. When Epcot opens on July the 15th, an additional character dining experience will be available, that being the Garden Grill. As at Topolino's, the characters basically march around, but with no real interaction with the guests. There may still be opportunities for photographs though. Looking at the availability calendar for off-site guests with tickets, all parks are currently available on all days. Remember that only Animal Kingdom and Magic Kingdom are open between the 11th and the 14th, that's why they're showing in yellow. For resort guests, Animal Kingdom is not available on the 12th and 14th of July. All reservations for Hollywood Studios on the 15th to the 18th of July inclusive have been made. All other dates for all parks right up to 26th of September 2021 are still available. For annual pass holders now in July, there are very few reservations available, with the 30th of July being the best bet, with Magic Kingdom, Epcot and Animal Kingdom still available. August is looking slightly better for annual pass holders, but the first day with full availability is August 17th. September improves a lot for annual pass holders, but annual pass holders can only reserve 3 days in the parks currently, so after they've used those dates they'll be after more. The Bourne Stuntacular opens today at Universal Studios. Universal Studios gave a sneak peek of this show last night on YouTube, and I'll provide a link to that in the description below this video. If you're in Orlando over July the 4th weekend and are looking for a fireworks show, one of the few remaining would be at SeaWorld. Their Light Up the Sky event will happen on 3rd, 4th and 5th of July at 9 PM. SeaWorld does have a reservation system in place, but reservations for all 3 days are still available. So while US cases are going up across the board pretty much, Florida did have a better day yesterday, thank goodness. Over 5,000 still though, you know, a lot. I just hope that the mask wearing in several counties across the state now has some bearing, as well as the closure of all the bars has some bearing on people getting sick and getting the virus. I really hope that really tails off, you know, in the next week or two as this takes effect. Hospitalizations and deaths, yeah, not keeping pace with cases, thank goodness. I was sort of taken to task a little bit yesterday on saying, well, it looks like the virus is less aggressive, but it's more contagious. There were certain people saying, well, it is or it isn't. Well, and then I've had people saying, well, the CDC is saying they're overstating cases, and some people are saying, well, they're understating cases. DeSantis was asked a question yesterday about basically was he cooking the books on cases? Did he simply say there were more cases over the weekend, so he could say there were less cases over the July 4th weekend? So what do? My head would be spinning. I think if I took account of everything out there, my head would be spinning. I'm looking at Worldometers, that's where I get my information from, and I have been since late March. So I'm going to stick with Worldometers, right, wrong or indifferent, and that's the approach I'm going to take. I will say, if a politician says X or Y based on some research, I'm going to include that in the news. If it's just baseless stuff, I won't include it. Okay, so that's where I am, just so you know. That's about it for today. Not much more to say. Stay safe, take care everybody. I'll see you tomorrow again with more stuff. Until then, see you then. Bye bye.